Yeah, it is.
And you sure they can't see me, right?
Can't see you. Oh, you gosh. They can hear you there. The teacher. He can't hear you now. It's not like he right there listening. It's just that he don't hear what's going on when he watches the recording. Yeah. Okay. My speech is on Christopher Gardner. You know who that is? Christopher Gardner. Christopher Hatch.
My father's the guy.
Christopher Hatch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Gardner was born February 9th, 1954 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Thomas Turner and Betty Jean Gardner. Christopher was the second oldest of Betty Jean. He had three younger sisters. As a child, Christopher didn't have any positive male role model. His father lived in Louisiana and his mother lived and his mother's husband was physically abusive. Triplet was his stepfather's name. They were afraid of him. His mother was sent to prison for welfare fraud, and the children, were placed in foster care. And when Christopher was 8, the children were placed back in the foster care because it was said that his mother, Betty Jean, tried to kill Triplet by burning down the house. While Christopher was in the foster care, he found 3 of his uncles, Archibald, Willie, and Henry. At the time, Henry took on the father figure that Christopher was looking for. Sadly, when he was 9, Henry drowned in the Mississippi River. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Christopher developed a sense of black pride. As he familiarized himself with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, he learned to play the trumpet and loved listening to music by Sly Stone, Buddy Miles, James Brown, and his all-time favorite, Miles Davis. Because of the impact Henry, his uncle, had on him, he enlisted himself in the secondary school where he was stationed at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina for about 4 years. He became friends with Dr. Robert Ellis, a San Francisco cardiac surgeon, who offered him a position assisting him with clinical research at the University of California Medical Center. He took the position and moved to San Francisco in 1974. Over the course of 2 years, he learned how to manage a laboratory and perform various surgical techniques. By 1976, he was given full responsibility for a laboratory and had co-authored several articles with Dr. Ellis in the medical journals. On June 18, 1976, Christopher married Sherry Olson, a Virginia native and expert in mathematics. After years of studying in the medical field, Gardner gave up his dream of becoming a doctor. Because of his decision to give up on becoming a doctor, his relationship with his wife became detached, and Christopher had an affair with a dental assistant by the name of Jackie Medina. In the midst of the affair, Jackie became pregnant, and Christopher left his wife for 3 years to become a father to Jackie and his unborn child. In 1986, the divorce was finalized. So on January 28, 1981, Christopher Medina Gardner was born. During this time, he worked as a research lab assistant at UCSF at the Veterans Hospital. He wasn't making enough to support his small family, so he quit this job and became a medical equipment salesman. While selling his equipment, he came across a well-dressed man in a red Ferrari. Christopher asked him what was his career, and the man told him he was a stockbroker. And from that moment on, he knew his career path. The stockbroker's name was Bob Bridges. Bob helped Christopher out a lot. He would meet with him to introduce the world of finance to him. Bob also organized meetings between Gardner and branch managers at major stock brokerage firms like Kane Weber, E.F. Houghton, Dean Withers Ronalds, and Smith Barney. After applying at all of these different companies, he was finally accepted into the E.F. He was finally accepted in the E.F. Houghton training program, only to find out the person that hired him was no longer working there. His girlfriend Jackie accused him of beating on her, then he goes to jail for unpaid parking tickets. After serving 10 years in jail for the parking tickets, he came home to an empty apartment with nothing left for him to call his own. The Dean Woody Ronald's stockbroker's training program took him on with no income to support himself and child. In 1982, Gardner passed his license exam on the first try and became a full employee of the firm. After years of not having his son, Jackie returned with Christopher Jr. and Gardner took full custody of his son. Even though Christopher had a job at the farm, he and his son secretly struggled with homelessness while saving money for a rental house in Berkeley, California. Even through the struggle, no one knew of his situation for nearly a year. He scrambled to place his child in daycare, stood in soup lines, and slept wherever he. No, don't turn it off.
Okay.
Slept wherever he and his son could find safety. In his office, after hours, at flop houses, at parks, and even in a locked bathroom at the Bay Area Transit Station. Concerned for Chris Jr.'s well-being, Gardner asked Reverend Cecilia Williams to allow them to stay at the Glide Memorial United Methodist Church shelter for homeless women, and she agreed with no hesitation. In 1987, Christopher established a brokerage firm, Gardner Rich and Company in Chicago. Gardner owns 75% of his stockbrokerage firm, with the rest owned by a hedge fund. He chose the name Gardner Rich for the company because he considers Mark Rich the.
Secure your face not showing on there.
It's not. Can you see my body?
Can you see your body? Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm. Okay. Company because he considers Mark Rich the trader pardoned by former President Bill in 2001. One of the most successful future traders in the world. After Gardner sold his small stock in Gardner Rich in a multi-million-dollar deal, in 2006 he became CEO and founder of Christopher Gardner's International Holdings, with offices in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. Gardner sponsors many charitable organizations. He helped fund a U.S. $50 million project in San Francisco that creates low-income housing and opportunities for employment in the area of the city he was once homeless. He makes himself available for permanent job placement assistance, career counseling, and comprehensive job training for the homeless population in at-risk communities in Chicago. In 2002, he received the Father of the Year award from NFI. That's it. Julie, press stop recording, Julie.
Okay.
So was it 10 years or 10 days he was in jail?
He was in there 10 days.
You said 10 years.
Oh, yeah, I know what I meant though.
Did you ever say 10 years?
I thought I said 10 days.
Stop recording.
Yeah.